What is good, YouTube? Yo, thank you guys so much for joining me today. There was actually no new music today for us to ask and answer the question, does it two-step? But that is totally okay. Today we're gonna do something completely different. We are going to do an actual response video to the Punk Rock MBA. Let's get into it. Alright, thanks guys for tuning in. This is Caleb from Caleb Will Try It. I don't know if you guys are a fan or not of the Punk Rock MBA, but you guys should go check out that guy's channel, Finn McKenty. He does an awesome job at just like breaking down, and he's one of the only guys out there who I really know who talks about metal. No matter what, at the end of the day, he always comes in with some hard facts. But today I kind of wanted to give my opinion and my perspective to one of his most recent videos, the most hated bands, and highlighted in that video was a little snip about Memphis May Fire, but mostly Matty Mullins. So once again, this is just my opinion. This is just, you know, my perspective of what he's going to say and what he did say about Matty Mullins. And some stuff I agree, some stuff I don't necessarily like disagree with really anything. I just want to give my perspective and my just thoughts and opinions on that. All right, being the little tiny baby channel that I am, there's probably a good chance that Finn will probably never watch this, but I just thought I would make this video just because I didn't have any new material to make a Does It Two-Step episode, so we're just gonna dive right in. Okay, before we get into the actual, not necessarily controversial stuff, but to my reaction and my response to what he said about Matty Mullins, I do have to do just kind of like a little inside joke. I'm actually wearing a I Will Never Be Silent shirt by For Today. I just remember me and my friends were always saying, since there's Matty Mullins from Memphis May Fire, but then there is a Christian band For Today, and their vocalist name was Matty Montgomery. We always referred to Matty from For Today as like the big Matty or the big double M instead of, Matty Mullins kind of being like the pretty boy. I actually have met both of them. They did both play at the same Warped Tour, and I was pretty stoked. I got to meet both Matty Montgomery and Matty Mullins at that Warped Tour. So it was a pretty good experience. I'm a very long time fan of Memphis May Fire. I came in during the Hollow. I'm a product of the metalcore era, the peak Warped Tour generation, whatever you want to call it, whatever Finn referred it to in his video. The Hollow that came out from Memphis May Fire was just, in my opinion, still to this day, one of the greatest metalcore albums, and just like on my top of the list of metal albums just in general. So one of the bigger points that Finn makes in his video is about how where vocalists sort of they wanted to be the light for you to get out of that dark time in your life, which I totally understand.
Don't worry, because the singer of your favorite metalcore band is here to help, which sounds cool on paper, right? But in reality, I think a lot of that was just straight up phony, very insincere and manipulative of a young fan base that didn't know any better.
Where my difference is with that is being that young kid at those shows is maybe that was something that I needed to hear.
I'm gonna be the voice of a generation, and I believe the same thing for you. This is legacy.
I heard that live. I heard that with my own 2 ears. From my perspective, and this isn't completely this isn't factual at all, but for me, being down in the crowd, listening to these guys try to be the encouragement that you need, I always appreciated that. I was like, dang, dude, that's something that I should strive for. That's something that I could be. That's something that I could do.
Chris Motionless actually put it really well in this Tumblr post he made back in 2013. 8 out of 10 bands, clothing lines, and public figures around now are on the inspirational message train. Do people not realize they're being scammed? I am not your life coach, and my lyrics aren't supposed to be a guideline as to how you should live your life. This "you saved my life, you're my hero, and you're my voice" thing has become an unbearable burden and a downright eye roller. No, I did not save your life. No, band X, Y, or Z did not save your life. If in fact you were on the brink of any self-harming action, it was you who pulled yourself from the ledge. You saved your life, you are the hero. Why are people not willing to take credit for their actions? That's right, because that's what fans think bands want to hear.
I know a kid right now who's straight edge, and he really likes Motionless in White because Chris Motionless is straight edge and he dresses a certain way. So I know and I hear what you guys were saying, but you can heavily influence. Sure, it was them ultimately their decision, but if you're going to be and stand up on that stage and sort of give off a persona and encourage and steer people one way, dude, it's just inevitable. People are going to be looking up to you no matter what. I kind of agree that it's a little bit stupid and phony, but at the same time, that was stuff that I did appreciate hearing. I was always a fan of bands that gave speeches. The speeches that these guys gave on stage, those were the things that I really gravitated towards. I do believe that Matty Mullins is still like a Christian guy, and Memphis May Fire is still like a Christian band. So I think they still hold those morals and beliefs, which is something that I really appreciate. On the other hand, where you have like Phineas and For Today, like probably my top 2 favorite Christian bands, you know, they get up on stage and they just want to tell it as it is. Hey, this is what I believe about Jesus. This is what I believe about Christ.
I will stand up here and tell you there is hope found in Jesus Christ alone.
I really appreciate that more than, yo, I'm the voice of this entire generation. Listen to me because I'm up on the stage, which does like seem a little bit weird. I just don't want to believe that Memphis May Fire used like Christianity as like their platform to get bigger, to be able to say stupid crap on stage. So that was just something that I thought was like kind of just hard to hear. It doesn't help that Matty Mullins is extremely good looking. His voice is just to die for. He's the screamer and the clean vocalist for a band. Like, that's a challenge in itself. Like, good for him. There's got to be some form of ego. I mean, if you come out like with a shirt like this, and I'll be straight up honest, I bought that tank top. Dude, you can't blame the guy. They're a young band. They blew up. A lot of kids my age, a lot of kids at those Warped Tours that I were at, looked up to Memphis May Fire. They looked up to Matty Mullins as somebody that they could strive to be. And honestly, like, I agree some in part and most in part what Finn was saying, but at the same time, I don't think Matty Mullins was like the worst person to look up to. There's kids out there like looking up to Franz in the same way. You can hate Franz as much as you want, but everybody wishes they were Franz, okay?
A few years before that, they had this song called Jezebel, which was this super weird, cringy song about female fans who like use their sex appeal to prey on band guys.
Finn always just like tears me up a little bit. So when I saw Warped Tour and I heard him say, for all the women out there, like, trying to impress me by looking slutty, dude, I get it. When I heard that, I was like, yeah, you know, Matty Mullins, you got some major balls. Like, dude, it's awesome that you would just come out and say that. Like, it just takes so much guts to say that. And to hear like Finn's side of the story, like, what the heck are you talking about, makes me think, oh, dude, maybe it was just kind of a weird thing. Sure, he's got balls for saying something like that, but like, honestly, in my opinion, it takes more balls for Phineas to stand up there and say, I believe in Christ Jesus, and the only way to get to heaven is through him.
And sometimes you have to be lost to be found. We believe there is hope, and that his name is Jesus Christ.
Did Matty Mullins really just say all that stuff because he's like, yo, I got big balls, dude, I could say what I want on stage? Like, oh, dude, I don't know now, man. Finn's always like making me think. Up to this point in the Memphis May Fire section of the video, I was really torn about the stuff that Finn was going over. Like, I wanted to punch the guy.
And I cannot imagine the amount of incredibly stupid stuff I would have said if he put a microphone in front of my face and stood me in front of the thousands of people they played to on Warped Tour. I am certain I would have dug myself in a much deeper hole than Matty ever did.
He just like wrapped it up with a straight up like, if you were on stage in front of thousands of people, and he says it about himself, and me too, if I was on stage in front of thousands of people at Warped Tour every single day, it would be pretty bad. I would have at one point said something so stupid that I probably would never live down. Finn always kind of reels it in and makes it a little more human, but I agree so much. I think Matty Mullins did say some stupid stuff on stage. Back there, I think he sounded a little bit arrogant. I think he sounded a little bit stupid. And it's nice to see that he stayed out of the public eye in a negative way since then. I mean, that was such a long time ago, and I think you nailed it on the head, that he was young, and if you and I were in that platform and on that stage like he was, I probably would have buried myself way worse than he ever could have. I do believe that he did get stuck a little bit in the limelight. One thing that I've noticed over the years is the bands that give the speeches in front of people and on stage, the ones that are really from the heart truly are the ones that really stick for me. All the guys like Sean from Phineas, Garrett Rapp from The Color Morale, Jason Butler from Let Live, Davey Moyes from Vanna, like those guys really hit me super hard when I saw them live. The guys who do get on stage and they say things that aren't necessarily cool, the stuff that they're just speaking from their heart, I think that's the way to go if you're a front man. If you are stuck a little bit in the limelight and you do happen to say some stupid crap, I'd rather it be on the side of Memphis May Fire, where, you know, presumably his morals were in the right place, his head and his heart were in the right place. He may have just came off and sounded a little bit arrogant. Honestly, up until I watched that video, I was convinced that Matty Mullins was just a legend and the stuff that he said was super ballsy. But turns out, you know, the stuff that he said was kind of arrogant, and it's ballsy because he has that platform and he can say stuff that sounds cool and he can take advantage of those younger kids. To where some of these other bands that are really truly speaking from the heart, those are the guys that I'm really tipping my hat to, and I'm proud to have seen them live. And I can't wait until this freaking coronavirus thing is over so we can go to some more shows. So pretty much all the bands that I listed about having super killer speeches, they're not even bands anymore, so that kind of sucks. But you know what, dude? I thought Matty Mullins was a good role model for me and I turned out okay, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. To be honest, I think you should do a most loved bands and really talk about the front man and the cool stuff they said and did. I think that'd be a pretty cool video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Dude, Finn, if you ever watch this, I just want to say, dude, I love your channel. I love the Punk Rock MBA. Keep up the good work, man. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. If you guys are new to the channel, thank you guys so much for stopping in. Go check out some of my other videos. Yo, go follow me on Instagram. Here's the Instagram. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Let me know down in the comments if you're a fan of Memphis May Fire and what your favorite song off Challenger was. Yo, we better get a new song for Does It Two Step here ASAP. All right, we'll see you guys on the next video.
Hope you find your